Wow, Bikesh. Finally, I got you on my show. I have been trying to connect with you since 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And I know you are so busy, you have been trying to do different stops. And I know it's going to be very hard to connect with you. But finally, we are here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for coming here as well.
Yeah, man. It's great. It's great to be back. When was the last time we did it? Like last year sometime?
It's last year. It's on 2020, yeah.
Yeah, that was the time. It was fun, man. It's fun to be back.
Yeah. So, just to start with, so how is life going on?
It's been pretty good actually right now. Like a few months back, I was really in a bad shape or bad state. Like I was just overthinking everything, and as like most of the people out there, I was worried about like what's gonna happen with my visa status, what's gonna happen with my career and those kind of stuff. But right now I'm in state like, yeah, fuck all of that. I'll just do whatever I want, you know. So it's pretty good right now. I've been able to manage things here and there. So it's good. How about you?
Yeah, usually when we come here as a student, we know we have to do lots of challenges. But what I found is like after finishing study, the life is more challenging because after finishing study, you don't have excuses like, oh, I need to finish study or I have a study to do. But after finishing study, for me, a challenging is like what I'm going to do next. Well, what's the purpose? I'm like, what's I have to do in my next? For some people, this might be like they are going for PR. For some people, it's like they are going for professional. But for me, like, what's next? What do you want to invest your life in next 10 years or 15 years? So it's really challenging for me after graduation.
Me too. I'm having the exact same thing because I'm knowing myself more better these days, and as far as I can see, my plan with life was, let's say 5-6 years back. I had a plan that I'll just experiment with my life till the age of like 30, where I'll just do whatever I want, and then I'll maybe fix, okay, I would like to do this for the rest of my life. And right now I'm at that point or in that condition where I have to decide like what is it I want to do for the rest of my life. And it's confusing, man, because I want to do a lot of things, but I can't do everything. So I'll have to pick up like, I'm sure that I won't just be limited to one job or one profession, because I don't think that's just me. I just need different things. I can't just be monotonous. But I have to choose. And if I'm going to do like 2 different things in life, I have to choose 2. I can't be doing everything. So I'm at that point where I have to decide, like, according to the previous plan, I have like 1 more year left till I get 30. So right now what I'm trying to do is do something in the field of photography as a profession, because I have been doing photography and videography or vlogs and all those things, but never in the professional manner. So I'm going to try that to see like how does it go, and maybe then decide like what do I want to do, like become an engineer, become a photographer, because I'm working in the dental right now which is out of nowhere. So it's kind of crazy going on. Like I'm just not sure what I want to do with life right now, but I'm just going to try everything, and maybe after that I'll figure out, because right now I have some idea about, okay, so these are the things I like to do and these are the things I don't like to do. And within the things I like to do, I have to choose things. I don't know, like at least 2 and just go with that. So that's where I am at right now.
Yeah, that's what I realized. What I realized is like after finishing graduation, so if you don't decide what you really want to do, if you are in confusion, like what's next, what you are going to do next, then that confusions make you more confusion.
Exactly.
And if you don't decide, look, I have to go, otherwise I'm going to do this one, then I think that's the reason so many people or so many international students after graduating, I think they are having mentally challenged as well. And what I found is like for me, before coming to Australia or Sydney, my plan was like okay, 2 years study and then after 2 years look for some professional jobs and then go back to my country. But after coming here in Sydney, after there is a unit called Design It, and there is you know about that, and there is a Think Big as well, and that completely changed my mind. Like okay, after that studying that unit, I feel like I don't have to go to the professional job. There's something that I can create something, and even after being involved in social innovations, I got a mindset or something like that. Okay, yeah, I have to do something related to this. So for me, a challenging is like how can I do that, or what's the way? So figuring out that has been more challenging for me right now.
That's another thing that I've figured out about myself. That is that the skills that I've gained so far, And if I really want to be happy, or if I really want to do something with all the skills I have, I can't be working for someone else. I need to do something myself. I need to figure out how to develop a business around the things I like to do. Because we have studied those things, like how to develop a business, like you said, design it, think big, and those kind of stuff. There's always there. I can always utilize all of that and make something. Like at the end of the day, the thing is that you need something that would provide you particular money. You need money in life. You need to do something to get money, right? So either you can just accept whatever is happening and keep on doing whatever you want without thinking about what your passion is or what you love to do, or you can look into that field. I'm not saying that just leave everything and just do whatever you like, follow your passion. I don't think that's a practical way to do it. But do whatever you're doing. At the side, also look at what is it that you love to do, what is it like that you would like to do, and try to form a business or something around it. And that's what I've realized, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like engineering is something that I did. I am a little bit of passionate about engineering stuff because I like to break things and reveal things and design things and those kind of stuff. So there is a part that likes engineering, but somehow I don't like the 9 to 5 part of that job. And somehow I have a passion in creative field, like either music or photography or filmmaking or those kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to, like have a business or to get money through what I like to do. And that's what I realized about myself. I can't just be working for someone else. If I want to utilize my pure potential, I'll have to do something with myself.
Yeah, that's true. And I also feel like figuring out what you don't want in your life, that's more helpful.
Yeah, and that's a suggestion that I'd like to give to anyone who's like in a confused state right now. If you don't know what is it that you want to do in life, do whatever you get. Because doing that, you will know what you don't like. And that will somehow help you to figure out what you like. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, instead of being just confused and not knowing what to just do whatever you get, and you will know like what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's true. And that has also helped me a lot. Like I was really confused regarding what I want to invest the rest of my life. Like I'm not thinking about 1 year or 2 years. I'm thinking about 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. So and then figuring out that what I'm not going to invest in this field. I think that helped me. Like you said, like 9 to 5 jobs. So I'm not also passionate about something like going to corporate and being that in a high position or something like that. After coming here studying my master degree and having involving in different events, social innovation events, and going and talking with different person, what I've realized is like I have more passion about creating things, like creating, especially in the social sector. So I'm more engaged, I'm more passionate, and I'm more like focused, or let's say more engaged in social.
You like that basically?
I like that. So right now I'm thinking about how can I create something that will help community back in my home, but not in the sense like a charity, like asking for donation or something like. It's like social innovation. It's like creating some
Social
business.
enterprise.
Something like it's sustainable, that we don't have to depend upon others. So I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but still thinking about that. But sometimes you keep on thinking.
Yeah, you figure that out. Yeah, like you like that. I also love that. I love helping people. I love doing social work and stuff. But I am such a guy that I'll only do what I can. I'm only going to help people when I can. When I have a lot of stuff to figure out within myself, I don't think I will be able to go and help others. So I right now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to figure myself out and figure my life out. But there's always a part, as you said, I love helping people. I love doing social work. So somewhere, somehow, maybe I'll have kind of a social enterprise or look for a way how I can do social work. But that's a great thing for you, man, that you have figured out that, okay, this is something that I like. Now, there are other things you like to do. Maybe you could mix them together and do something.
Yeah. And I've seen in one of your video, like you were talking about your mental challenges, and this is something that we are born and we are raised in a community where we don't talk about this one, and we feel like this is something shameful, or is it something like a stigma, and we also feel like we have what the people think about it. If we actually share about our mental challenges, then we have a fear like what will people think about it, or how they're gonna judge our that thing. So But when I see you sharing on that video, and that's what I like about you, like you just share what you want to. So just want to know about those experiences. What was that about?
Yeah, so one of the things about me is that I, from very childhood of mine, like I've always been like kind of an antisocial when it comes to like societal rules and the regulations. I have always been like, why do I have to do that? It doesn't make sense. Why am I doing this? I've always been asking those kind of questions. And that's why I like to share those kind of videos, because there will be people who are gonna say that he's bullshit or he's a crybaby or whatever, but there will be someone else who can relate to that and who will feel better about themselves. So talking specifically about that, I think it was June, July, somewhere around that of 2019, where I went through a bit of a depression during that time. It was a 2 months of time where I didn't have contact with any friends. I was doing Uber Eats, I think. So like I wasn't meeting any people. I wasn't picking up anyone's calls. I was completely out of social media and everything. And I was in a really dark state of mind. So dark that I even had thoughts of suicide and those kind of stuff. And I actually had like suicide help number screenshot in my mobile phones, just in case that if I go way out of control, at least I'll call them or something like that. I was in that state. It was really bad. I didn't see a purpose for my life. I didn't have a meaning to life. I don't know, man. It was very bad. What was that? I don't know. It was just a bad depression. I don't know what kind of depression was it, because there are different levels to that. But when it went out of control for so long, I somehow brought up the courage, whatever, to come here and meet with Vanessa, our student counselor. And when I talked to her about whatever was happening and we had a chat, and when I came out of that room, I felt like that was one of the most courageous acts of my life. And I believe most of the people who are there going through a mental health situation right now, that's what happens with them. They are not only socially stigma. I don't know whatever goes inside their brain or the feeling of whatever is happening. They can't just go out and talk to anyone like that. It is one of the most courageous acts of my life, as I said, to go out there and just talk to the student counselor about what is happening with me. And that happened. Then I went to a doctor. The first thing the doctor asked was, do you want to have a medicine for this? Like, he wasn't suggesting me any natural processes or do exercise, eat good food or here and there. He was directing me, do you want to have medicine? And I'm like, no. I don't want to have medicine, man. I don't want to be dependent on medicine just for that. And just those two acts somehow helped me to pull myself out of that state and activate that part of my brain which was like, no, you can do this. You can't let things like this control you. It's your body, it's your mind. You have the control. It's not like your mind controlling you. And somehow from that day or that state, after that step, I went to the gym. I started looking into my lifestyle and those kind of stuff. And even these days, it comes back. It haunts me from time to time, and it goes for like weeks, sometimes for months. But since I've been through that state, I somehow now realize what is starting to happen. And I can feel like, okay, so this is starting. So what are the things I can do? What is going wrong? What is happening? I have now the habit of analyzing my thoughts and processes. One of my friends, it just came out during the conversation like this. Like, there are 3 things you can look into if you are having those kind of depressive thoughts. Emotions, thoughts, and behavior. They are kind of interrelated. So what's happening? Is it the thoughts that come first that affects your emotion and your behavior? Or is it the emotions that come first and then comes the thought? So if you can only, the first thing is realization that you are having this kind of situation, you are having this kind of mental state. Most people have a hard time realizing that. They can't figure out that they are going through like that kind of a phase. I have like 2 different phases that I go through that I've named basically. One is the depressive phase or the negative phase, and the other is called a zone, where I'm like motivated, I have full of energy. And one of my friends actually was saying this a few weeks back, like, I'm always living in extremes. Like, if I'm happy, motivated, energetic, I'm at high level. And if I'm depressed, I'm at the very bottom level. There's no like middle ground, which is something I have to work on. Because not every day is a good day. Sometimes you have a bad days, but that doesn't mean your whole life is a bad one. And one of the other things you can do during those situations is that pull yourself out of the details, Just not only, instead of focusing on a particular hour or particular situation of the day, look at the overall life. Like, what has happened in the past 2-3 years? Because there should be a lot of things that good things that have happened in the past 2-3 years. So that somehow helps. But yeah, the mental health situation, man, I think I wouldn't say, I don't have proper data or stat for that, but I think every one of the international students who is here has to go through that high stress level, high pressurized situation that we haven't been through before. So that surely develops some kind of mental health issue. For some people, they are good with that, they are able to handle it and manage it. For some others, it's hard, it's difficult to do that.
Yeah. I think the data like this, it said like 25% of overall international students are really in a severe depression.
Yeah.
Like 1 in 4. So and we go through mental challenges, but one thing I realize is like the toughest part is to be open, to share about it, to talk about it. I mean, like, so how did you get that courage?
I don't know, man. As I said, coming out of the student counselor's office, that was one of the most courageous act of my life. That's how I felt like it. So, I don't know, maybe what we can do is check out with our friends and just ask them, like, not only how are you physically, but how are you emotionally and mentally. I think that is a good way to start, to look out. We can't look out to everyone, but at least check out with your friends, like with your family members who are close to you. Just ask the question, not only how are you physically, but how are you mentally and emotionally right now. And if they trust you, if they have been talking with you properly about everything in their life, they might be able to open up to you in those kind of situations. How to bring out the courage, I don't know, man. I was able to do it somehow. I was very lucky to do that. It didn't went out to be worse. But yeah, go out, ask for help. If you can't do it, you need to go out and ask for help. I know it is one of the most difficult tasks in your life, but you can't just be living like in a depressive way, forever. So you have to do something, because no one else can do anything for you. You have to do something yourself. No one else is going to come and help you until and unless you go and ask for help. Because people who are going through those kind of situations, depressive feelings, when you look at them from the outside, you will never know that. They are very good at hiding those kind of emotions. It only comes out when you're alone, when you're especially at the night time. That is something else I have realized. During the daytime, when you meet friends and everything is okay, when you go back home, when you're alone, that's when those kind of feelings start to haunt you. So, I don't know, figure out a way. One of the things you can do is, as I said, analyze what is happening. What are your thoughts? What are your emotions? How is it affecting your behavior? So if it is like a clinical depression where it is because of like lack of hormones or disbalance of hormones in your body, you have to go to a doctor. You have to go to a doctor and you have to treat it like that. But in most of the cases, like what I might have had, I don't know if it was clinical depression or not. Again, as I said, I'm the expert in that and I don't know the exact terms what a clinical depression is or what something else is. But what I know is, if you have a clinical depression, it's because of the disbalance of hormones and those kind of stuff in your body. So you have to go to a doctor and check it out. For others, look into those 3 things: emotions, behavior, thoughts, and then look into your lifestyle. If you go to the gym for 1 week, you will see a difference. If you go out and run for 1 week, you see a difference. Look at what kind of food you're having. If you're just having like junk food, that affects your brain. That affects your feelings. Your sleep. I was just listening to a Joe Rogan podcast where there was a guy, I forgot his name, but he had been doing research in sleep, which he has been doing for like 20 years now. And what he said was, you at least need 7 hours of sleep. If you reduce 1 hour by 6 hours, like if you only sleep for 6 hours, it has detrimental effects in your health in the long term. So sleep is very necessary. Sleep, food, exercise, start with that. But if it's a clinical depression, you can't. Again, to go out and do that exercise, to go out and balance your food, it's a hard thing to do. But you have to force yourself to do that. Where do you get that courage? I don't know, but you have to force yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I did it.
I also found like what you said, so it's for me, it's like when I did research and like it always starts with a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you have a negative thought,
mm-hmm.
then you have a negative feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a negative feelings,
again, the negative thought starts.
Then you have a negative emotions. You act like that. So for example, if your thought is very positive thought, then you have a positive feeling. And when you have positive feeling, then you act like a positive. So for me, like I don't say I went through a depression, but I feel like when I self-reflect now, I feel like I have a feeling of depression, like feeling. So, I'm going, I'm in depression. So, for me, the phase was around just 2 weeks. So, it was like a negative thought comes, something like, it's just like we come here and we have a pressure to succeed in our life. Pressure to like, you have to succeed in your life, and there are so many other pressures, financial pressures, and it's just like you, that feeling unworthy in life, like losing, like getting lost from your purpose of your life, and that thoughts keep on coming in my mind, and that really made me very feel sad. That decreases my confidence, and I was feeling very low self-esteem, and like you, I wasn't going anywhere, just sitting around home and just thinking about that. And what I realized now is one mistake I did was I didn't accept that. I didn't accept those negative feelings. As you know, like I feel like I'm a positive guy. How can those negative feelings come to me?
How can it happen to me?
So I was feeling like that. So I was not able to accept that negative feelings coming to my brain or my mind. So about 2 weeks. So then I went to doctors. I also went to a doctor. So I told him like these things is happening to me, and he gave me 3 options. Like, you want to go for medications, then you have to take at least for 6 months. And the other option is you have to go for psychiatrics. And the third option was just give some more time unless you can heal. So I didn't choose for medication, like I have to go for 6 months. I'm not ready for that. And I didn't go to psychiatrist because I don't know how much money I have to pay, or how much days I have to go for that. And I chose the third one, just let me give for more time. And what I realized is when I accepted that, okay, this is a part of life. Like life is not about success, or there's failures as well. Life is not about being happy. There's sometimes sad comes in life. So when I accept that, okay, this is a part of life, and they're saying like it's okay to be not okay. Yeah. So when I realized that, and then the next day everything became normal. So even nowadays I feel sad, I feel anxious, but it's okay to have that. So when I realized that, when I accepted that, finally I came out of that situation.
Another misconception we have around, like in the society, I can see, is that just because you had a negative thought or a negative feeling for a day or two doesn't mean you are in depression.
Yeah.
Depression has to be something like which goes on for like weeks and months. That's when you can say like, okay, so that might be depression. Sometimes you don't have good days, sometimes you have bad days, and you have negative feelings and emotions. But that doesn't mean you are depressed, because once you start thinking that, okay, I'm depressed, it just makes it worse. So you shouldn't let that happen. I think we need to change that misconception. That's the thing, we don't have a lot of knowledge or a lot of talks about mental health. So we basically don't know what is it like, what is depression, what is not a depression. You go to Google and see for symptoms, okay, feeling sad, negative thoughts, negative emotion. They just show that and we feel like, oh shit, I'm depressed, and it just keeps on making it worse. But that's not true. So you need to change that misconception. Sometimes you have bad days. That doesn't mean you're depressed, man.
Yeah, that's what I realized when I self-reflect. Initially I thought I was in depression, but when I self-reflect, it wasn't depression. It was just feeling of depression, and it was just because of that negative thoughts.
Yeah. And it's also because we're stressed too much all the time that happens. And that somehow is a reason for me to not being able to get out those kind of feelings if I start stressing myself too much. So I need to pull myself back and see that, okay, you're stressing yourself too much. Maybe just chill out. Maybe go enjoy. Forget about everything for a few days. And that helps. Talking about how to get the courage, I just remembered I had this like mechanism that I've developed whenever I start to feel depressed or I start having negative feelings. The first thing that I do is I accept that. I just say, like, okay, I'm having negative feelings. I'm having negative depressive feelings. This is a part of life. And I just analyze it, see it, and sometimes that works. Sometimes if that doesn't work and it just goes for like weeks and months, then I start thinking, shit, this is going wrong. I need to do something about it. It's not going to get better by itself. And that's when I start looking at what is happening, what diets am I looking at, what am I eating, what am I exercise am I doing, what am I doing in my daily life, and how is it affecting? Because as I said, since I had that experience once, I know things better now. I know, okay, I'm having this kind of feelings, this is happening. Basically, I can figure out a day when I'm not having those feelings and I'm having those feelings. But as I said, sometimes it doesn't. Like as I said, a few months back, I wasn't able to get out. I was having anxiety during my work. Like literally I was working and I used to like feel scared from inside without any reason, you know, like when I analyzed it, what I found out was something, doesn't matter whatever, someone would say me something bad or I might make a mistake at work or anything, that would make me like feel bad or upset, and that triggers that anxiety kind of things, and I start thinking more things, more negative things, and I used to have anxiety attacks. And all of those always ended in one thing. Shit, I don't have a PR. What is going to be my future like? What is going to be my career like? I don't have an engineering. It's always ended in that. Doesn't matter how it started, it's always ended in that. And once I figured that out, and that's when I actually wrote a letter to a friend of mine. We have this habit, we just developed it, like where we basically write email. Instead of just chatting on Facebook, we just write emails like letters to each other, like in the old times. So I did that, and while I was writing those things, that's when that part of brain kicked in, and I decided, it's okay, so these are the problems. How are we going to solve this? What's happening? And that's when I decided, okay, I don't have an engineering job. That's all right. I'll just get the skills that I need. I can survive anywhere with the skills I have right now. You know, I have skills of music. I have skills of engineering. I have skills of dental. I have skills of photography and videography. Man, I can survive anywhere. Why am I pressurizing myself so much? You know, so that once I realized that thing, you know, analyzed that and wrote that letter and everything, and that's when I started like making changes. I started just clicking photos. I started doing something in the field of filmmaking and those kind of stuff, and that helped me to get out of those anxiety and feelings. I'm in a much better state right now. But it's a part of life. It's a cycle. I go through depressive phase and zone. It keeps on like in a cycle. It keeps on happening with me, man. If you are having a bad day, if you are having a depressive thought or bad thought, start by cleaning your room.
Oh, wow.
Because when you clean your room, you see a nice space around you, you know, like it makes you feel better. Plus you have that sense of achievement or doing something, achieving something, you know. And once you have that, then you do something else that helps you feel like you've achieved something more, and you do something else. And when you keep on doing that, that helps. For me, it helps. It works out. Cleaning your room is one of the best things you can start with if you're having that feeling. After that, exercise, food, try that. And if that doesn't work out, I think that's when you need to go to a doctor or a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I have been even, like you said, since 3 months I have been doing exercise now. Before I wasn't going to gym. I was doing some jogging, but I decided let's try gym. And I think it's really worked.
So, it works, man. I know that. I just haven't been motivated. I just haven't been able to go to gym. I need to go to gym.
Like you said, food. Food is also one of the most important part in our life. So I have decided like I have list like what I don't eat. So beside that I eat everything. So I have list like I will not eat these things. So beside that I will eat some the rest of the things. So I just neglect. So I didn't like I didn't eat. I have gone to vegetarian. So no meat product and then no alcohol, less sugar. Maybe I try to get away from sugar, but sometimes you get but less sugar. And no smoking at all, and no soft drinks. Since 1 year, I have been practicing this since no soft drinks, no Coca-Cola, no anything. That's since nice. 1 year, and I think that helped me to become more kind, more peace, and I think that really helped me in my body as well. I think
it helps. I know that. I just haven't been able to include it in my life so far, and I think that is one of the things that happens with most of us international students is that we're so busy with life that we are not able to focus on our health. You know, eating what you're eating, timely eating, like we used to have back home, like when our mother used to cook food for us, when she used to make lunch for us, we used to have like proper balanced diet somehow during that time. And you come here, like I cook food like once a week and eat the same shit for the whole week, which is not good, I know that, but yeah, I'm lazy, maybe, I don't have time. So you should focus on that, but I try to manage like at least include some kind of veggies whenever I can, have a balance of carbs and proteins whenever I can, and yeah, that's how it works. But that's a good thing to do.
So I just want to talk about like you were sharing about this, and you were sharing about your journey to get professional job in civil engineering, and I have seen a couple of your that videos. Just want to talk about that.
It's been like, I don't know, man. I've been trying to get like a professional civil engineering job since last 1 year, and I've tried like everything. I think I've tried most of the things. I wouldn't say everything, but most of the things I've tried applying online for different jobs. I literally have like a list of jobs in an Excel sheet, like when did I apply, what did I job apply for. So I have hundreds of them literally. Then I also tried networking with different people. I contacted different people who were already working here as civil engineers. Everyone had a different thing to say. I took something from everyone, tried that. That didn't work out. Then I actually tried going from door to door. I even tried like going door to door from city. I didn't do it for a long time, but I just went in to see if there are any consultancies anywhere in the city. Especially when I had like a 1 hour break, so I can finish my lunch in half an hour. So for the half an hour, I was trying to go to one every day. But the problem was all of them were like in certain levels, like in the different higher levels, and you need a pass key to go there. So that didn't work out. I tried having an internship, like not exactly an internship, but basically I just go there and work and just learn from that. I tried that. That didn't work out. It was just like a few months back, and that's how I created the gap of Wednesdays in between. Like I was working 5 days straight, but I took a break on Wednesdays, so I was going there on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It was a construction company, but it didn't work out because they were only like starting like new construction company, and they actually didn't know what to do with me, and they were just asking me to do the labor jobs. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So that didn't work out, and after that, yeah, I tried all of those things. There's a lot I have learned so far. I haven't figured out exactly why am I not being selected, even for like an interview. I've had 2 mock interviews so far because I was a part of a mentor program. So you can find different kinds of mentor program where basically you have to apply for it, and if you get selected, there will be mentors who will guide you to make resumes or how to apply or who to apply, those kind of stuff. I've done that too, and that hasn't worked out. I've had mock interviews, and in both of my mock interviews, the interviewer had to say that my interview was good. So I'm confident that if I get an interview, I can go and talk and do stuff. But I don't even get called for an interview, so I might be having some problem with my resumes or stuff. Or the main problem I can see right now is because of my visa conditions. Because I can understand it from a company's perspective. You know, if you're going to bring a graduate and train them for like 2 years, they would want you to stay for more long time. But since my visa is not even there for like 2 years, what's the point of hiring me, right? So I can understand that. So maybe that is one of the things what's holding me back from getting like a professional job. But right now, I'm looking for it, but not so much actively, I'd say.
I had a chat with Ronak Korela in my previous episode, and I was talking about how he got in that field, like in professional job. And he was talking about like the main thing we have to focus is first is CV and the cover letter. So what's your take on that?
As I said, I had like a proper mentor who had been in the HR space for like 25 years or so within the engineering industry. Sorry, I had a mentor who actually guided me to make the resumes and the cover letters. So I don't think, or maybe he's just old school and the things are different now. I'm not sure about that since I haven't got any interview yet. My mindset or what I have figured out is it's because of the visa conditions. But as you see, Ronak's condition, he's same as me, right? Mm-hmm. He's in the TR, but he's getting a job. Although his job is like completely different from what I do.
Yeah, he's I think he's in the IT sector. So he's
with the IT sectors. I've seen a lot of guys like if you have like proper skills that is outside like your theoretical or your book space, they get jobs much easily than us. Somehow in prison scenario, in prison like workspace in Australia, but yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. I've been trying, like I just said, I've tried since 1 year. So since 1 year, I've tried most of the things, but nothing has worked out for me so far. And right now I'm at a state like, yeah, if I don't find it, that's alright. I'll just look for something else.
He told me like he shared one of his secret, like when he was looking for that opportunities, and like we know we write our CV, we update our CV, we update our cover letter, but what he did was he gave someone to write his CV, and he paid for that, and that after that he applied with that CV and he got the call for interview, and he got find the job.
Maybe I should try that. Right? There is also another thing I have recently found out. It's called ATR, I forgot the full form for that, but basically there are different websites who would like check what's in the job description and what's in your resume and will tell you how much similarity you have, and based on that you can add or delete things and make a better resume. But I haven't done that yet because as I said, I don't have like that motivation to apply for jobs anymore.
Yeah, I have been to a couple of interviews, like I have been to interviews, but not in a like engineering field, like in social enterprise. I have been there, but since I was not prepared for the interview, like you got the call for interview and you feel like, oh, now you are selected, and then you didn't prepare for that. I was like that. I didn't prepare anything. I'm just going to with that confidence. Oh, I'm now selected. So I went there and they keep on asking different questions, and I was really nervous. I don't know what to say on that, and I didn't get selected. And after 2 or 3 interviews, it was same like that, and I feel like, okay, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try something new that I'm passionate about. So I'm just looking for that now.
I have, like I said, I had been to like 2 mock interviews and they were pretty good. I was able to answer all of their questions, all the behavioral questions, all the proper whatever they want. I knew about their company, I knew about what I want to do. One of the points they always, both times what they told me that they didn't see that passion for that job in me. And I think maybe I don't have it, to be honest. I don't have that passion for the job. I've studied it, I've invested so much of time, and I know about things. I think I would love to do that. That's why I'm applying for jobs. I'm also applying because that will help me get my permanent residency and stuff. But I don't think I'm that passionate about it like I'm passionate about photography and filmmaking. So that's the thing that they have told me. But except than that, I was good with... I had proper research about their company. I was pretty good to give them examples in behavioral questions, in particular star order. That's how they do that, like situation, task, action, and reaction or response, something like that. Basically, what happened. So I've been good at interviews and those kind of stuff. I just haven't been called to one right now.
Yeah, it happens. And but you know the Subhasi, right? Yeah. While he was in Sydney, he didn't get any. I mean, he was applying for a job, but he didn't. But when he was going in Canberra, I think he's currently working in civil engineering field.
Oh, okay.
And did you have a chat with?
No, I haven't been able to do that.
I think it would be better for you because he's currently working in civil engineering field. I think that might help you.
Yeah, I know a few other people who went to Canberra and got the jobs there. So I don't know, man. I'm in a situation. I would love to have an engineering job instead of doing this dental job right now. But I just don't have that energy or motivation or time to actually apply for jobs like I used to before, because my mind is completely shifted from engineering to photography and filmmaking right now, because I have like 1.5 years or 14 months or so right now, and in that time I would love to try something in the space of photography and filmmaking and try it as a business and see how much do I like that, because as I said, after the age of 30 I have to choose one and go after it. So as far as I see right now, engineering and photography is what I would like to do, if possible. But I'm also looking for other ways to like earn money. As I said, at the end of the day, it's about having a particular source of income. So I'm also looking into space like cryptocurrencies and share trading and those kind of stuff. You need to find different ways, man. In today's world, I don't think like working 9 to 5 in one particular job, it will help you good enough to have a good life, depending on what kind of job you do. But for me, as a person, what I am, I need to find different things to do. And if only I'm able to like have a source of income where I don't have to work 9 to 5, then I can do whatever I want with the rest of my time.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of our life as well. Like what I feel like when we have something source of income, then I think after that we will be free from financially. Like we don't have to work for the money. So if there is something source of income that keeps on coming and that looks our financial, then I think after that we can do whatever we want, like whatever passion we have.
Again, it's a personal choice. It's not like it's what we have to do. It's just my personal choice and my personal opinion, where I feel like you just working 9 to 5 jobs and just working for money is not the right thing for me. I just need to find a source of income, somehow be stable, have a source of income so that I could do what I want. Or I can find something that I'm passionate about and work on it and make it a source of income, as I said before. That's what I'm trying to do with photography and filmmaking. Because you have to work Anyhow, it
Yeah,
doesn't
we
matter,
have to
whatever you do.
And it's not like we are saying 9 to 5 job is bad. It's our perspective. You know?
Our perspective. And I think it is the perspective of most of today's generations. I don't know why. Because it's kind of a fashion out there, a trend. Everyone wants to be financially free. No one wants to work 9 to 5. But if you don't want to work 9 to 5, you need to figure out what to do instead of that. Because you have to work, man. In life, you have to work. You have to figure out a source of income. If you don't want to work 9 to 5, so what are you going to do? That's the thing with most of our generation, I think. We don't want to do this, but we don't know what to do next, so we just keep on doing that. That's a trend we have right now. Nobody wants to work 9 to 5.
I can see like everybody want to be an entrepreneur, everyone want to start a startup, but
nobody's willing to work for that. They just want to do that.
But it's really hard work and it's really effort. And
you need a lot of effort. Anything like starting a business, it's not as easy as it seems, man. You have to go through a lot of shit for that. Like, when you're working for somebody else, you're only focused on one thing and you just do that. When you're trying to have your own business, you need to look into everything out there. You look at the finances, resources, whatever we study, like the 9 business model, calculus, and those kind of things. There's a lot you have to do for that. So the question is, are you motivated enough to do that? Which brings you to the question, are you passionate enough for that? Because if you're not going to do that. And if you're just trying to see like, okay, so this guy, this kind of business and he's successful, so I will also do that. I don't think that's a good idea to do. You may get lucky, you may get successful in that field, but if you want to have your own business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to figure out what are you passionate about. Once you figure that out, you can make a business out of anything, especially when you're living in a place like Australia. If you go back to Nepal, I don't think how much is it possible right now. It's been long and I don't know much about what's happening there. But here in Australia, that's the thing that I've forgotten again 2 months back when I was only focusing on PR and engineering jobs. When you're in a place like Australia, if only you have skills, you can make a business out of it. You can figure out a source of income out of it. You need to just have the skills. There is opportunity for everything out here.
Yeah, I also realize that skill is one of the most important in the current age. Like we are focused more on getting qualifications that we get from degrees, but more than that, skills is something. Even like photography skills or even like some cooking skills, that's what we needed. And if you master that skills, then I think that's the best.
That's what's happening. Like, if you just look back, I have these kind of talks a lot with my dad, where we like put our perspectives and views. It didn't used to happen before. Like, if you come from our place, I don't know if you can relate to that. We always have that relation of a father and a son. There's always that gap, the generation gap or whatever, cultural gap. He's always a father, I'm always a son. We can never talk to each other like friends. Or if you give them like your perspective, they would always tell you, I'm the father, you don't teach me, like that kind of stuff. I'm lucky that my dad isn't that kind of a guy. He would disagree to that, but he would listen to what I have to say. And while doing that, we come with this kind of perspectives. And he's always like, do an engineering job, do like government job, have a fixed stable source of income and those kind of stuff. I'm just not that kind of a guy. I just can't work 9 to 5 like that. I need to figure out somehow to do something that I'm passionate about and spend the rest of my life doing what I like to do. So we always have that perspective. He's not wrong in thinking that you should get a job and you should have a stable income, because he's thinking good of me, because that was one of the biggest struggles in their lives, to have like a stable income to feed the family. But if you come to our generation, it's changing, man. It's definitely changing. You have to do something else. You have to gain the skills, even to find jobs. Like a degree, a qualification is not enough. It's not like before where you have a civil engineering degree and you will easily find a job. No, you need to have the skills. You need to know how to work on softwares. You need to know how to do different stuff. And again, coming back to this professional job, I don't think I'm skilled enough for civil engineering job. I have studied it. I have a few experiences. I have like 1.5 years of experience, but I've forgotten most of it. And I don't think I'm skilled enough. So if I even find a job, I know I'll have to start like a graduate, where they will give me proper training for that. For that, you need PR, and that's why I'm not getting a job. But yeah, be skilled enough, man. Be skilled enough and learn how to sell yourself. You can survive anywhere.
As we come from same background, in our community or in our family, do you have something like pressure? What I feel like, when you are like most of the parents say, you have to be settled before 30. You have to get married before 30, and otherwise you can't do it in your life. So it's a kind of pressure in our generation, like before 30 you have to do everything, otherwise you are considered a failure. So what's your perspective on that?
I get that pressure all the time. My father keeps on telling me you need to get like married in 1 or 2 years of time, you need to have a stable career and everything. And yeah, I have that discussion all the time with my dad. I'm not getting married till 35.
Wow.
I'm getting married at the age of 35. That's what I've decided so far right now, because I think that's a good age to get married in terms of like financially, in terms of career perspective, and even like biologically. Because if I get married at 35, I will have my kids. Then they will get like at the 20 or something, like when I'm 55, 60, and then I can be retired, do whatever I want. But right now the thing is that I have been under the control of my parents for 23 years of my life. I'm 29 right now, so it's like 5 to 6 years where I have been able to live life my way, especially after coming here in Australia in these 3 years. That's when I have been able to live my way, live my life my way, like from everything, from where I go, what I eat, what I do, which career am I choosing, everything is under my control. And I'm loving that. I love the freedom factor. I love freedom more than anything else, and I don't want to lose that by getting married. Like, there will be a lot of people who would say that it's not like that, but believe me, once you get married, it's a responsibility. You have to take care of that. You would have, like, for now, with the money that I have, with the time that I have, I can go anywhere, I can do anything, I can take the risk, and it's not going to affect anyone else than me. But once you're married, there's someone else you have to look after. You can't just take risks and do things like I can do it right now. So I'm in no mood to get married right now. But I always have that pressure from my parents that you have to do things in time and this and that. And I always have a discussion with him that who fixes the time? Okay, you need to complete your age, you need to complete your education in time. You need to get married in time. You need to have kids in time. But who fixes the time? It's me. Okay, it's me. I even had this discussion like just last week where I just said directly to them in a funny manner, but directly to them that I don't even care about you guys when it comes to marriage and getting settled. Forget about the relatives or whatever. It's my choice. I'm the one who have to spend the rest of my life with that person. And I would do it my way. I don't even care about you guys. I had to have the talk with them.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a quote like, there's two things in your life you have to choose by yourself. And one is career and one is the life partner.
Yeah.
So,
and you need to be selfish for that.
Yeah. And the rest of the things you can just adjust and you can just do that. But your career and your life partner is something you have to choose by your own decision.
Yeah, because that's the major thing of the life. You're spending like, let's say from an average perspective, whatever, we will live up to age of 65. So we are at the midpoint of the life. There's still half of our life left. This is the major decision in life, like careers and who we want to live with. Like, I've told you in previous, like, our podcast, like, I was about to get married before I came here. I feel very lucky that we broke up because I never wanted to get married at that age. But due to the pressure from the girl's family, I had to do that. I never wanted to do that because I remember having a chat with my friend and she was like, you were the kind of guy who said that you never get married before 30. And I remember that chat, and looking back at it right now, I said that, yeah, we have to do whatever we have to do with the time and flu and here and there. But I'm glad that I didn't get married. I wouldn't have been able to do things that I'm doing right now if only I was married. So you need to make decisions, man. You need to be selfish about this thing, especially when it comes to choosing your life partner or choosing your career. And you have to be selfish.
Yeah, that's true. And by the way, I think...
what about you, man?
Yeah.
What's going on with your love life? Let's talk about love life too, man.
We have planned to get married. Yeah, I'm in relation right now. So, but in a distance relationship. She's back in home, Nepal, and I'm here. And we have planned to get married coming this... it's Mongshir in Nepal, but which month? I think it's November, December, probably?
Yeah, December.
December.
Mongshir. I'm from Mongshir. It's December.
Probably in December. We have planned to get married in coming December.
Like this year?
Yeah, this year.
Okay.
But if the COVID thing is normal, then probably we'll get married. But if the situation is very bad, then we'll postpone that. But yeah, it's been quite a very good relationship with her. Like it all started from a distance. It all started from distance. We started talking to each other. And after talking for 5 or 6 months, and I approached with her first she insisted like she was no, I'm not interested, something like that. But after keep on talking like boys, you try to impress her.
We are men, man.
Yeah.
We are wired in a certain way.
You try to impress her by certain things, like certain by talking nicely or something like that. But anyhow, we started a relationship, and yeah, it's been around 3 years. And completely long distance relationship. And people, when I share about this relationship, like my friends get like surprised, like how can you guys become long distance in 3 years? I'm like, yeah, we have. I don't know why.
And I have the right person that happens.
Yeah. And I have met her like when I went back in Nepal last year, and I have met her in that only 4 times. Till now, in these 4 years, I have met her only 4 times. Other than only on video chat or something like messenger. But I think what I realized is like trust.
Trust. Connection, the relation you have. One of the things I would suggest to anyone who is in a relationship, from my experience and everything, is like proper communication. There will always be problems, there will always be ups and downs in the relationship, but you should be able to have proper communication. I think that's what I liked with my previous girlfriends too. That's what I've realized. So when I'm looking for anyone right now, the first major priority is communication. Is the girl going to properly communicate with me what are the things she likes, she doesn't like, and what are the things I like and I don't like? And somehow we have that conversation, communication, we negotiate and come to a middle ground. Because what I've seen so far, again, I'm not saying that all females are like that, but with most of the females, what happens is that they just want us to understand things. They just send us the Morse code that want us to understand things. I can't do that. I need someone who needs like proper communication, who will properly communicate, okay, I like this, I don't like that, and have that communication, like date or be in a relationship for like few years to know each other properly before you get married. Like you said, you have already been in like 3-4 years. That's a good time to know each other properly, You need to do that. With men, how we are wired is all that we need is the girl should be pretty. Because that's what I did in my previous relationship, I didn't care about what is her mindset or what is her thoughts about life or what's the communication skills are here there. All that I care about, she was beautiful, that's it. I love her. And as far as I remember, I always jumped into a relationship like after meeting the girl for like 1 or 2 months or even in like 1 week or so. That's a bad idea. I'm not doing it right now.
Yeah, like you said, the communications. In my relationship also, I give more priority to communication as well. Like when I feel something bad, then I communicate with her. Like, this is the reason I'm feeling bad about you. I'm like, this is the thing I don't like about you. So that's not like I don't like about you, but I feel bad.
Particular thing.
Yeah, particular thing.
It's not like I don't like you as a whole. That
particular thing. That's what I don't like. I don't like about you. And having that conversation, I think that really makes us more open to each other and to know better to each other.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You should be, that's the thing. You should be able to open up and tell them that you don't like that. You felt bad about this thing. And even with you, when she says something that she doesn't like something about you or she doesn't like you doing something, you should at least give it some attention, have a communication, and at least say, because there would be times where she would be saying things that are wrong. That doesn't mean you have to accept that. You should be able to make her understand that this is how it is. And then you come to a solution. Or if it is like a deal breaker for her, maybe you can compromise a little bit and negotiate and come to a middle ground somewhere, But if you're right, you shouldn't let your partner to, even if they are wrong, don't accept that. If they are wrong, you need to tell them that they are wrong. I've done that mistake before where doesn't matter whatever happens, I was always the one to go and I was the kind of ice for the fire. I was always the one who was going and making things right. I was always the one who was going and saying sorry and all those kind of stuff, even though I know that I was not wrong. That is a very bad thing to do in the relationship. I have experience with that and I've noticed that right now. You need to have proper communication. If you're not wrong, you should be able to tell them. If you're right, you should be able to make them understand. And if they don't understand, if they don't want to understand at all, if they don't want to negotiate, maybe you should let them go. Because it's your life. Again, as I said, you have to be selfish when it comes to choosing a partner.
Yeah, that's true. So, you talk about we come here as a student and we kind of have something freedom. So it's like we can live our life on our own. But what I found is...
No, I'm just saying the opposite. In here, I have been living my life my way.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the freedom.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're enjoying the freedom. But what I found is like this freedom, something we have this freedom, but sometimes what happens, we can go to the wrong path. Like, I haven't seen so many friends, so many of my brothers and sisters.
Freedom is dangerous,
Yeah, I have been found them being addicted to alcohol, being addicted to betting and gambling. And so I think, how you take on that? So what's your perspective on that?
So addiction, whenever the word addiction comes in, we only think about it as a drug addiction or alcohol addiction. But there are different kinds of addiction. Some people are addicted to food. Yeah. That's why they are fat. Okay? People will come and tell me that you calling me fat makes me feel bad. Because I actually had this discussion with one of our friends who used to study with us. I just wrote something. Again, another thing is social media. Fuck social media. People take social media so seriously, man. That's so bad right now. I texted something like, I just called her fat or something like that in the internet. She was like, hey, you talk about mental health and this and that, and you're coming to me and telling me fat. I wanted to tell her so much during that time, but I just don't want to discuss and argue with her. So I haven't talked to her at all right now. I don't care about that. But you're fat because you're eating. You have a food addiction. That is an addiction, right? So addiction could be that. Addiction could be buying things. Some people just like to buy things. They just work for 70 hours a week and spend all of that money buying shit that they don't even need. So that's an addiction. Addictions are different kinds. Now coming specifically to drug addiction or alcohol addiction, I have a different perspective that people might not agree to this, but anything, alcohol, any kind of drug, weed, anything, they are not bad in themselves. It's about how you use them. Because in our culture, we are taught to have alcohol since the very childhood. We use it every year in all of our festivities. So what does that mean? Are they trying to teach us the bad thing by drinking alcohol? No, because alcohol is not bad in itself. It's how you use it. If you're having alcohol once a week just to enjoy, just to relax, that's not bad. If you're having every day, if you're getting fucked up every day and it's starting to harm your life, your career, your future, that's when it's bad, right? Same with the weed. I am a smoker, I am a stoner, I smoke weed from time to time, but there comes a point when I start to realize that, okay, I have been smoking this for months. I need to take a break. It is starting to affect my mental health, or it is starting to affect my thought processes. And that's when I take breaks. Right now I'm on a break where I haven't had it for 2 weeks. I think I had one last Friday or something, and I haven't had it for 2 weeks. So I control it. I have that control, It's hard to have that control, but you need to realize when you're addicted to something. Because nothing is good when it's too much. They're just saying, as you say, even the sweet, even the sugar gets bad if you have too much, or even the sugar gets salty when you have it too much, or something like that, right? So basically anything, if it's too much, it's bad. You need to have it in the balance. You need to realize what happens when you drink alcohol, okay? What happens when it's happening, how it is affecting your life. You need to be able to understand what you were doing before you do that. So basically, nothing is good or bad in itself, either alcohol or weed. It's upon how you use it. And as I said, there are different kinds of addictions. So every addiction is bad. Although some addiction might be good, if you had addicted to working, even that could get bad. If you're addicted to working and you just keep on work, and you don't give your time for your friends or family or your mental health or your food, that's also bad. So any kind of addiction is bad. You need to realize when you have that addiction, and you need to be able to keep a check on that.
I think a balance.
Balance, exactly. Balance
is that we think it's not alcohol is bad. Even scientifically, it's good for health. But too much alcohol is bad.
Exactly.
And too much weed is bad. Even food is good for health, but too much food is bad.
Exactly.
And that's what I think. Balance is something we need.
Yeah. And I'm not endorsing go out and drink alcohol, smoke weed and everything, but I feel there will be a time in my life where when I'm married, when I have kids, when I have family, and I have the responsibility and all those kind of things, I think it is during that time when I will be leaving all this kind of stuff, smoking weed and going out partying. I haven't tried drugs, not cocaine drugs, but party drugs and those kind of stuff. And there would be age where I won't be doing that. I'll stop that all. But for now, yeah, I just want to live my life, have fun, have time. So it would be great, like when I grow old, it would be something to talk about, you know. I had like life like this, I lived like this. Because we actually went to Tamworth last year. So we have like one of the world's second biggest country music festival here in Australia in Tamworth. It's in New South Wales. So we went there for like a week and we basically lived like hippies. We were like sleeping in tents. From the time we wake up, we were like high and drunk, and there was music everywhere, and we were just traveling, and we were having. It was a crazy time for a week. Like we basically lived like hippie. So I want to do that too. I want to live that part of life too. That's basically what I want to do with my life. Like experience everything, have an experience about everything, learn everything. But that doesn't mean I would go and do something that is unethical or that is something wrong. If I do it by mistake, I realize it and try to rectify it. There are a lot of things that I regret about that I've done, which I know now that I shouldn't have done. And I think that's the part of life. That's a good way to live the life. Again, that's my opinion. That's not the right way to live the life. That's my opinion, and that's how I want to live my life. I just want to have experience of everything. Something to talk about. If someone comes and say, do you know about this? Do you know about that? And yeah, I know that. I know that. You know, I want to have that feeling. I love that feeling. It's all about experiences, having experiences. And at the end of the day, when I'm in my dying bed, it's like, yeah, I did that. It's not like, what if I had done that?
Yeah, that's true. And what happened, like experience. We should invest on experience rather than things.
Yeah, rather than things and money and those kind of stuff. I even said that in my TEDx talk, TEDx talk is something that it came as an opportunity and I just gave a talk. But while giving that talk, a lot of things were things that I believed in, things that I have made as the rules of life for myself because I knew that they would help me further. And one of the things was invest your time in experiences than going after the money, especially when you're here or you're like anywhere. You know, because if you have the experiences, if you have the skills, I think money will follow. But that's just what I think. It's not like the truth or reality. I think like if you have the skills, if you have the experiences, and if you're passionate about something and willing to work for that, I think money will flow. But again, there are different ways to earn money, so always have different options, backups.
Yeah. So you just talk about TikTok. So I again watched your TikTok yesterday, and just want to know about how you got that opportunity, or how did you get connected with TikTok?
So basically, again, I was lucky enough to have that because it was organized by our university, Central Queensland University. And yeah, basically I had to apply for it. I had to write down what I'm going to talk about. I had to make like a video of few minutes, something like that, and I had to approach them. I had to apply for them, and that's how I got selected. When I got selected, I wasn't sure how much time was I gonna get. It wasn't supposed to be for 30 minutes. It was less than that. So I had to prepare according to that. But later on, I came to know that I at least had like 30 minutes for that, and I prepared. Basically, I wrote down everything that I thought were right for me, or the things that had helped me so far being an international student, how my thoughts and perspective were different from what you would generally see outside in our culture. And that's how it started. And that's how it went on, actually. Basically, I applied for it, I got selected, and I just started writing down. When I started writing down, I just wrote down everything that I want to talk about. So there were a lot of things, and among those, like I said, the main things that would affect the life or that the students could relate to, I just put those things in there. And even now, when I see back, like when I feel like I don't know what to do with my life, I need proper like kind of guidance and stuff. Looking back at that video, looking back at that talk, it helps me, like realize who I am or what my perspective or what I believe in. Things like do what you love, do what makes you happy, look for experiences than money. Always try to get outside of your comfort zone. Those are the things that I believe in and that I would love to do forever in my life. I forget who I am or what I want to do in my life, especially when I'm in the depressive phases and conditions. And that's when I need help. And my friends are a very good help. Like I just said, I write people down, I talk to people, I tell them about things happening in my life. And somehow talking to them or just telling them what's going on with me somehow makes me realize what is right and wrong. Whenever I'm like talking to people, like whenever I'm going through a situation or something, I actually already know the solutions. I'm just not able to implement them. And somehow talking to someone and talking about this is what should be done, that helps me. And yeah, that's how it was. TED Talk, basically that was something that I did. That is kind of like a milestone in my life, like I there was a certain time in this 2020, like everything was silent, but me myself, that's what I am. I need to keep on doing stuff. I need to be in extreme conditions. And there was a phase where I was like, shit, I haven't done anything this year, man. There are no achievements in my life this year. Like TED Stick was a milestone. What next have I done? Shit, nothing. But that wasn't true actually. It was only during that phase where I felt like that. I've done a lot of shit. Like I'm working as a dental technician. I've never studied about that. I have no training, nothing. I used to work there as a cleaner.
And you told me before.
I used to work there as a cleaner, but I was good having communications with them. I was like chatting what's going on here and there. And someone was leaving, who was in like a junior role out there. She was leaving and she just told that maybe go and talk to the manager or maybe you'll get the job. At first I hesitated because like I have zero knowledge, zero experience, I know nothing. But I don't know. I just went in and talked to the manager. Like, what was wrong? Like maximum that could happen is I wouldn't get the job. I'm not getting that anyway. I know that. Like, so when you don't have those kind of expectations and you just go and talk, and somehow because of my confidence and my good communication skills, I think that's how I got the job. I just went in for the trial like a day or two, and they could figure out that yeah, he can do that because you need actually 2 years of study to get into that job, to do the job that I'm doing right now. But since I am an engineer and I have those technical knowledge, or I know how things work, how things are built, that's the thing. Another thing about like I keep on having this kind of discussions with my dad too, that although I have studied engineering like for 4 years, I've invested so much time and so much money, doesn't mean I have to do that. I have those skills and I can utilize them in other fields. I can utilize them in daily field, like the way my mind works, like even like I can see things, how do they work, how they are designed, how do they connect. Not in the detail, but in a basic form, I know that. I can work on that. And I think that is because I studied engineering. So those kind of skills are used forever. Just because I studied engineering doesn't mean I have to become an engineer.
Yeah, that's right. Even in this, it's like in the present scenario, it doesn't mean like you studied an engineering degree and you have an engineering degree, then you have to stick as an engineer in your life. You can change a different field. And like you said, the skills that we get from that degree or from that field, we can apply to in different field.
Exactly, that's what matters, the skills that you have from that. And yeah, I have been doing this job like a dental technician. Now I'm actually kind of doing other stuff. Like at first I was just making the models, so you get like impression of your teeth in like a rubber pad or something like that, and just pour like plaster and those kind of stuff and make a model out of it. And now what I'm doing is after that model, I'm also making like things called like bleaching trays. Like have you seen like Invisalign ads? No, so it's basically like something made out of different materials that goes around your teeth that helps to fix teeth, or that helps to make your teeth wider. Something that helps. Some people have problem that they grind their teeth during the night, so there's a special thing for that. So I'm learning those kind of stuff. So that's something great. That's a great skill to have, like something.
Is that something like artificial teeth or?
Yeah, so I don't do that. I don't make teeth, but basically I work in the dental lab where people like dental technicians, they make teeth, like artificial teeth, the dentures, different products, things like that. And I love that job right now in the sense that it's kind of artistic, like using the scalpel, like, how you make statues and those kind of stuff. That's what I'm doing in like a smaller form, So it's kind of artistic. So I love that thing about this job.
So I want to talk about your TED Talk. I watched a study, I have watched before as well. And I want to talk something about, I picked up a study, like you have share your experience regarding how we can make our life better. As an international student, and how we can make our life most out of it. So there are a couple of things you share about, like build your mindset and get out of your comfort zones and be comfortable with uncertainty and learn to prioritize, do what makes you happy, be patient and look for experience, not money, like you said before, and heaven or hell. And there's one last, find a way to motivate. So I just want to go to this last one. So how do you find motivation in your life, like to do all these things, and what makes you inspired every day?
A reason for that is I think that's how I'm wired, that's how I'm built. It comes also from my dad a bit, because my dad was that kind of a person who likes to do something all the time. Whenever he's not someone who just stays at home and just watches Netflix and does nothing. Even when he's at home, he's either fixing a door or painting a wall or gardening or whatever. He's that kind of a person. So I think I had that from him, which makes me keep on doing things, which is also like dangerous sometimes, in a sense that when I'm not doing things, it makes me feel depressed. And as I said, I just go to the lower point. There is no middle ground. So there's always that to that. But somehow I just find ways to motivate because something that I know is that from where I am and where I want to go, between all of those, there's a bunch of work I have to do. There's no other way around. I have to work. I have to do things. Although people say that work smart, not work hard, but you can't just do something just by working smart. Even in that smart, there is something where you have to work hard. You have to work hard to be able to work smart. You know? So that's what I believe in. Like, there's a bunch of work I have to do to get somewhere else from where I am right now. I actually took this from someone else. It's not my saying. I think it's Casey Neistat or something like that. I follow a lot of people. So that was one of the things he said. And that's the kind of how I have been built. I'm wired. I need to keep on doing things. I can't just stay in one place. It makes me feel depressed. How do you find ways to motivate yourself? First of all, you have to figure out how much is important to you. Because if it is important to you, you will find ways anyways. Like, you have to go to work to earn money. You motivate yourself to go to work. There's no other way, right? You go out, you wake up in the morning, you go out there, although you like it or not. Also, you could do the same things with the things you're interested in. You know, because we feel like, again, it's a priority. What is more of a priority in your life? Like, is it money? If money is everything you need, then go out, earn money. Nothing wrong with that. But for someone like me, just having a certain amount of money and savings, and I don't like to buy things. You know? I'm not a materialistic person. I don't like to have a lot of things. This shirt, basically, I shoot it when I was somewhere in the class 12. So it should be like somewhere in 2011, 12. I have this shirt for like 9 years now. 8, 9 years now. That's the kind of person I am. You know? I don't like to have a lot of things, a lot of clothes. I have few clothes. You will see me in the work always in the same 2 dresses, same 2 trousers, same 2 t-shirts for the last 7-8 months now. So that's why I don't like to have a lot of things. So I only looking for money where I'm able to pay my bills, where I'm able to live my life, and where I'm able to pay my loan and have some savings if possible. Except that, the main thing that I've realized again after coming to Australia is the main thing that's valuable is time. It's not money or this or that. It's time. What are you doing with your time? And I just want to utilize it to its best, you know. Give certain time, you have to work, you need money, do that. But for all the time, go out there and do what makes you happy, do what you have interest in. Because somehow, although it seems like you're wasting your time doing this and not earning money, but when you do things that you love, it changes your life, it changes your mood, it changes your how you think, it makes you more efficient, you know. So you should always be looking forward to do what makes you happy and find ways to motivate yourself. Now, there are different ways to do that. Like, as I said in the TEDx example, I just wanted to play guitar, but I wouldn't do it. I knew that first thing is like figuring out, okay, I can't do it on my own. I need help, or I need a particular reason to play guitar. So I started a show of Talent Tuesdays where you go and play every week. So that helped me play guitar because I love doing that. And right now, same thing with the photography and filmmaking. And I've always figured out some time to do it. I had a big gap and I wasn't that happy in that time. Now I've started like doing filmmaking and photography. My mood is better. I'm feeling much more happier. I can deal with things better. So always find ways to motivate to do things that make you happy, that you like to do. That it's a different thing if you don't have any passion. There are a lot of people who tell me that I don't have any hobbies, I don't have any passion. That's alright. Not everybody has to have a hobby, not everybody has to have a passion. But there should be something that you like to do.
Maybe they haven't found their passion yet.
Exactly. Maybe you haven't found out that. But if you want to do something, again, as I said before, do whatever you get. Because you miss 100% of the opportunity you don't take from the TEDx talk. So just grab this opportunity and you will know what you like and what you don't like. Especially when you are at age like between early 20s to late 20s. I think this is a good age to experiment with your life, because again, it's you who fix your time. But according to my opinion, 30 and 40, that age group range is when you fix something and just work on that instead of like going everywhere around,
Yeah. When some of my friends keep on asking me like, how you get inspired or how do you get motivated? It's something like I have written an Facebook status like I probably read somewhere and I just write around that. So it's something like I love this status so much, and it says like we don't brush our teeth just 1 hour per day and just say okay, we are done for the weeks. We are done for the whole year. We just brush our teeth just 1 minute per day, but we brush 365 days, and that's what makes our teeth better. And motivation is also something like that. That once you get motivated, it doesn't mean you have motivations in your whole life. Every day you have to motivate yourself. Every day you have to get excited for what you want to achieve. And I also remember what Elon Musk said in one of his interviews, like your dream, your purpose is something that excites you. That excites you, that make you excited. So if your dream is something that makes you excited, then only you work for that. But your dream is something that's not so exciting, then you don't give your 100%. And that what I found, like before coming to here, our dream was just on money, get married, build some house, and get a job in a company, and then have a secure life. And that doesn't excite me anymore right now. So yeah, I think something having purpose and dream that really excites you. I think that's gives me motivation.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Like trying to figure out what is it that like I would love to do for the rest of my life, and that is my main source of income. Because if only you can figure that out, if only you can do that, that's a great way to live your life. Like because as I said, you have to work. Doesn't matter whatever. You have to work. You need a source of income. But if you can actually do that by doing something you're passionate about, by doing something that you love, that excites you, I think that's a good way to live your life. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Again, photography and filmmaking is something like I do have a passion for it, because the way I have done things, like even with a mobile phone camera, I was doing things. So I feel like I do have a passion for that, but I'm not actually sure, because I have that habit of changing my passion, I think. Because I remember a time where I was so much passionate about music and I wanted to do something in the field of music, but I couldn't do something back home in the country. There were also not better opportunities like you have it here. And then I had to choose, like, would you do engineering or would you go in the field of music? And I actually gave up on music and I continued my journey in engineering. And I think I'm in the same kind of state right now, where I have to choose either engineering or photography, and I'm going with photography instead of engineering. Whatever happens, man, I don't care. I have the skills, I will figure out a way to live, I'll figure out a way to survive. But at least I would have tried that, and I would have felt, okay, do I like doing it professionally or not? Because you never know unless you try it.
Yeah, I think passions can be changed. Or I mean, like with time and with your life, passions changes, and even purpose can be changed. It's like when we understand our life, when we understand better, and then I think purpose can be changes. It can be redefined. Like when I was in class, I think it's 8 or 9, or my purpose was to get an engineering degree. And that's what I was told, like, you're a bright student, you have to become an engineer. And that's what's feed in my mind.
What we all got, bro.
Okay, let's become an engineer. So, become engineer, work 2 years in telecommunication, and didn't enjoy that much. And then come here, and then when involved in different social innovations, design it, and think big. And that really changes my mind, like, okay, you just need this kind of skills, and then you can be like that one. So that's when I changes my purpose and the passion. Like, okay, I decided this is not for me, so this is what for me. So trying to go on that field, so taking it step by step. And I know it really takes long time, it really takes efforts, but I'm taking step by steps, and I'm sure I have planned for 10 to 15 years, and I hope it will work.
That's a great thing to know, man. I'm also only knowing myself better. I think you'll agree to that after coming here and it's also due to age or whatever. Most people are not able to do that, to understand themselves, like what is it that they like or they don't like. They are somehow bounded by societal pressure, by family pressure, friends, and those kind of things, and they somehow lose themselves in all of that. And I'm particularly happy that by living on my own independently, by not being dependent upon anyone else and living alone, somehow I've been able to figure out myself better. Like comparing to what it was like 2-3 years back, or what it was like back in Nepal, and looking at myself now, I know better in all sorts of fields, in terms of food, in terms of friends, in terms of relations, in terms of work. I know better like what I like and what I don't like. It as you said, it might keep on changing, the purpose might keep on changing. That's something again I have to learn, like being comfortable with that your passion might change, sometimes your purpose might change, but you find a new one and just keep on continuing with that, doing that. That's something that I need to learn. I haven't been able to do that properly, but yeah, man, it keeps on changing, and I'm very happy when I realize these kind of things. Like I know myself better, I have better understanding of myself, what I want to do. I know better what I like or what I don't like, who I would like to be around and who I wouldn't. Another thing that I have noticed about myself right now is like I don't care about having a lot of people around me. I don't care about what other people think about me. There are few people who matter in my life, and I'm only going to make effort to keep them alongside. Others, if they want to fuck off, fuck off. I don't care. I don't need a lot of people. Because I remember going back, let's say even in my engineering days, I remember I had friends like who I didn't like, or whose views, perspective, or the way they talk, or the things they did, I didn't like. If I had a mentality like what I have right now, I would have cut off relationship with them. But during that time, I didn't know myself, or somehow since they were friends from my very childhood, I couldn't let them go and stuff. That can change now. If I'm not comfortable with you, if you are not someone who with I can have proper communication and come to an understanding, I wouldn't make an effort to keep you by my side. Go, I don't need you.
Yeah, I think in life, saying no is also very important.
A very important thing. You need to learn to say no. If you're not comfortable with something, you should not be trying to do things to impress others. Again, as I said, if they are someone who matter to you, maybe you will do it to a certain extent. But except than that, if just being with someone or being around with someone is harming you, is making you feel bad, you don't feel comfortable, you need to say no, you need to let them go. You need to learn that. You need to say no. Okay, I don't need that.
Yeah, it usually happens, when you try to do something. Like, I have an example, like, there was a time when I was, almost more attracted to alcohol.
Alcohol?
Alcohol, I'm like beer.
Alcohol,
okay. And it was like, I feel like every day I was drinking one bottle of beer. And I found like, my habit is getting more worse. So, when your circle of friends, like, every day they bring bottle of beer from police, and okay, this part, this 6 bottle is for you, 6 bottle is for this, and they divide each other.
Okay.
And then you get in the circles. So I was on that circle, so I found myself drinking 1 bottle per day. And I realized like, okay, I have to change this habit. So and I decided, okay, from today I'm not gonna drink beer. And the same day, the friends come and they organize a party, beer. So there was now, okay.
You had a choice.
You had a choice. I had a choice. So I said no. Okay, from today I'm not drinking. So sorry guys, I'm not drinking. But if I had said like, okay, today I will drink. From tomorrow I'm not drinking. Then I think I wouldn't have that habit. So I think we should have that the habit of saying no. Okay, if we are trying to create some habit, then from that day, the day you decide, just go for that.
Another thing I want to add in the same context is that, like you said, you didn't want to drink beer, but your friends brought it and you said no. If those friends are the kind of people who are going to not respect that you don't want to drink that you want to like have a good health and you don't want to drink alcohol anymore, and if they are going to say like you're a pussy or you are not our friends or anything, let them go. If they don't respect your view perspective, if they can't respect what you want to do with life, let them go. Those are not the good kind of people to be around with, although they are your best friends, although they are your childhood friends. Because you have we have this saying, actually, this again, it was one of the high conversations we had. Like, who are you? You know, you are not your name. It's just a name. You are not where you come from. It's just an address you come from. Who you are is the choices you make in life. There's always a choice you have to make. There are always decisions you have to make. Some of them are easier, some of them are hard. But that's what makes you who you are. You know, the choices, the decision you make. What do you want to be in the future? You have to make choices according to that. Like, you don't want to drink alcohol, I want to stay healthy. You need to quit that. Your friends should not be influencing you in that thing. You should be able to say no to those kind of friends if they don't understand you.
Yeah, I think you're right. Most of my friends, like, they smoke, and when their friends offer them, they don't have that courage to say no.
Yeah.
They want to quit that habit, but I don't know why. Maybe they feel like if I say no, then it may hurt that friend.
It may hurt them.
Yeah, and that's what keeping them on that habit. Probably, like we said, we should have that gut to say no.
You have to, man. You need to learn to say no. Not only in those things, you can also bring that to any kind of relations, you know, communication, either with friends, either with your girlfriend, wife, family, you know. You should be, sometimes it's gonna hurt them, but it's better to put it out them and hurt them and make things clear than to keep it inside and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
No. Because if only you hadn't said no, you would be like saying to yourself, shit, I drank that, I shouldn't have drank that, and you will feel miserable about that. That's not a good thing to have.
You're having a regret on that.
You need to be selfish. In times like those, in conditions like that, you have to be selfish.
But people don't understand it, you know.
That's the thing, they haven't understood who they are and what they want to be, you know. That's the thing, they haven't realized, they don't know what do they want to be, they don't know who they are. They're still learning. Especially with our age. I think we have reached to an age where we start learning that, discovering that. For most people, they don't. And yeah, that's a part of life. Who can do that, they can do that. Who can't, they just accept whatever there is and just live with that. Nothing right or wrong with that.
Yeah,
again.
nothing
This
right
is
or
personal opinion and stuff.
There is nothing wrong, there is nothing right. It's just a perspective. You already talk about you have a passion in photography, and recently you created Sydney Portrait.
Yeah.
So how does this idea come from? Why Sydney Portrait?
So basically, I have this account or pages from like a long time, since my engineering days. I think the page that I have right now, the Instagram profile that I have right now, it's from a long time ago. And so basically, I didn't know what I wanted. Basically, I had my title as artist because I was a musician, I was doing vloggings, I was doing photographs. So there wasn't fixed, this is what I want to do or this is what I want this page to be. It was very vague. But after doing everything out there, as I said, you just do things and then you narrow down to the things that you would actually like to do. And that's how I came up with Sydney Portraits. Basically, I was taking portrait photographs and wanted a name for my page. So I searched for the name, Sydney Portraits came out. There's actually another business named Sydney Portraits, but they don't have an Instagram account. So that's how I got Sydney Portraits. So it started with the Instagram account as Sydney Portraits. I still had my Facebook page name at Bikesh Lal Shrestha, but just few weeks back, when, as I said, when I started, like, okay, I'll just do something in the field of photography and filmmaking. That's when I named both of my pages at Sydney Portraits. Facebook is actually Sydney Portraits by Bikesh, because there is already another page that's named Sydney Portraits. And basically with these two, what I'm trying to do is have a business somehow around photography and filmmaking and make it as a source of income for me. As I said, it has come from a place where I'm so much frustrated that I can't get an engineering job after trying everything. I'm still trying to get an engineering job if possible. I would love to have engineering as my full-time job and do photography and filmmaking on the weekends. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. So until then, I have, like, as I said, I have 14 months left, and in this time, if I can find an engineering job, I'll just do photography and filmmaking and see what does it feel like to do it professionally. Would I like it or would I not? And based on that, after my visa ends, if I have to go back, I'll just go back and focus on, choose a career and just work on that.
How did you get connected with camera? I mean, like, when did you find, like, you have connection with camera?
Since I had my first phone, even from the very beginning, like the digital camera we used to have, like smaller ones.
Yeah, the Kodak one.
Yeah, not even with the Kodak ones. I think I was like photogenic from the very beginning. I guess if I see my photograph from the childhood, I knew how to pose and stuff. So I think I was photogenic from the very beginning childhood. And since I had like phone, I have been like recording videos and taking photos. Although there were nothing like social media back then. Like I have, if you look in my profile, I have like videos and photos of everything. Like people crying, people doing this, that. I like to create memories. I like to have memories, and that's how it started. Like I never doing photography and filmmaking in a way that I would love to earn money from this. It was just a hobby. It was just something I was interested in. I like that. The main thing for me was creating memories. I think I was more into creating videos than photos, because videos were more real. You can actually remember exactly what happened during that time, and that's how it started. And since I had my phone, I think I started more of vlogging during my engineering days. I started with like a Motorola G5 10 megapixel camera, whatever it was. Like the quality is shit, but I learned how to do the storytelling, how to edit things, how to fix things here and there. That's what I was saying. Like it's not the resources, it's about your interest, and that's why I think that that's my passion, and I would like to do it forever. But I haven't done that professionally yet. When you do it professionally, I think it's a different situation than doing it as a hobby. So I wouldn't know that until and unless I try it. So I'm doing it right now. But basically, yeah, that's kind of a hobby that I had from the very beginning, and I feel like that is my passion. Not sure yet, but that's what I think. And that's what I'm trying to figure out and see would I love to do it for the rest of my life.
Did you take a course on photography, or you just
No.
learned by experience?
Experience. It's like whatever I know right now, it's not by learning a course or by a few days or weeks of studying YouTube videos or anything. It has been built up since the very childhood, since the very first time I started taking photos. That's what I mean. Again, when I say it's not about the resources, it's about the interest. Because if you're interested and you do things with what you have, you keep on learning. And maybe you won't be able to do anything within 1 year, but what if you do the same thing for the 10 years? That's a lot of knowledge you have. That's a lot of skills you can get in that time. So that's the thing. Figure out what are you interested in, what you would like to do, and do it in small chunks. Do it as a hobby. Start like that. And try to see like within like 5 years or 10 years you can do something out of that. With the YouTube channel thing, when I created a YouTube channel, I always had that thing in the back of the mind that maybe I don't get any views or anything right now, but over in the time of 10, 20 years, maybe it could be used as a passive source of income for me. That is a good source of income you could have if you could do it. Although it's not easy, you have to work on it, you have to give it time and effort and everything. But it is a source of income. It could be a way, and I like doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Even when what I feel like I started this podcast last year. It was all about audio, but this time I want to try some video and start from last month. And you have some excitement. Okay, in Facebook you have 400 friends.
Yeah.
So you expect like, okay, at least 400 will subscribe, and you you publish your channel and nobody subscribe. And that's when the reality hits on you. That don't expect for something, just do your work.
That's the thing.
Do the better things. Yeah.
You won't do that until and unless you are interested in those things, that you have passion for that thing. That's where you figure out that either you're doing because you're passionate about it, or you're doing it for the money.
Yeah. When the reality hits on you, then there's a choice. You either go back or you just want to stick on that.
Just want to, if you're interested, if you're passionate about it, you just do it. Even if you don't earn money, or even if you. This is something that my parents always tell me. Like whenever I'm like going out on a travel, I'm making a movie, I'm taking photos. What are you getting out of it? You're not getting any money out of it. That's what they say to me all the time. But I'm always like, I do that because I love to do that. It's not for like a particular reason. I just do that because it makes me happy.
Yeah, that's the reason. One of my friends said like, oh, I saw you on making videos. And I said, oh yeah. And she asked me like, did you get money? Or something? Did somebody pay you? And I said like, I didn't want to give a lecture or something like, so I just smiled. But that's what makes me happy, doing a conversation with you and just making videos and just sharing things, reflecting stories. That makes me happy. And that's what I do. And I don't know what to say.
Yeah, man. Just figure out what you like to do. Like something that you would do even if you don't get the money, you will get the time and effort to do it. Once you realize that, keep on doing it. Maybe you won't be successful in a year or two, but what if you keep on doing it for 20 years? There should be something, man.
Yeah.
If you do the same thing, if you keep on learning one particular thing for 20 years, that builds up, man. And you have a lot of skills. You have a lot of experiences. You learn a lot. And that's more valuable than having a certain amount of money.
Yeah, that's true.
I believe that. And I want to do that. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to think, figure out something that I'm passionate about, and then turn it into like a source of income. If only I could do that, man. That would be a great way to live my life.
Yeah. Getting a source of income from the things that you love, that you are passionate about. I think that's the best thing in life.
Yeah, exactly. But first you have to figure out that what you would like to do. Even with your podcast and these things, you didn't have much of resources, and that's the beginning, But what after 10 years? I'm sure after 10 years you'll have better gears, you'll have better knowledge, how to edit, how to fix things, how to ask questions, how to make a conversation much better. You'll learn that.
Yeah. I think learning by experience, by experiment is something
much better than theoretical or those kind of stuff. I will believe in that. And there's another quote I have in my Instagram which says, process and progress over popularity. I believe in that, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Process, how to do things. Progress. Am I progressing? Have I been better than last year? Have I learned things than last year? Process and progress. Popularity will follow, man. Yeah. If you have the skills, if you
that's what about self-reflecting? That's about what you have been doing and how you have been doing and what progress you have made. I think that's what's come from self-reflection.
Yep.
And I think it will also help like where you are heading in your life. When you self-reflect where you was, what you were doing, and what changes have you found in you, I think that's probably help.
I haven't done that much. Now you have said that, I don't think I've reflected on things much. Again, it depends upon what are the things that I'm looking into. Like as I said, I did reflect on the thing. Why was I having the anxiety attacks? What is happening? I reflect on those kind of things. But I don't think I have reflected properly on this thing. Again, I haven't done this in a professional manner, photography, videography, but if you compare to what I was in 2015 and right now in 2021, yes, there has been a lot of progress. I know things much better. So yeah, that's how I'm learning, slowly, one at a time. Someday it will all come together. Be patient, keep on doing, keep on trying.
What you are looking forward now?
Right now, as I said, I'm just trying to do something. Like I'm trying to figure out what am I passionate about, what is that I love to do, and I would love to have a source of income based on that, work on the field that I love to do, that I'm passionate about, and live a life with that. That's what I'm looking forward. I'm also looking forward to get into a relationship if I find the right kind of a girl.
Okay.
But we should be okay with the fact that we're not getting married for the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
It's hard to find a girl like that.
It's hard to find a girl.
Yeah. But yeah, I have tried to get into like dating. I have like online profile in dating sites and stuff, but it hasn't worked out. And it's like that. Whenever I'm free, I do that. But once I start getting busy, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me.
I'm just curious, like how does the dating site works? Like I saw the example, like we meet in dating site and we are being in a relationship.
It's much easier for girls than boys.
I'm just curious, like where did you find that idea? Like let's go to dating site and let's find someone.
There has been like ads all around, all the way. See, like you get lots of ads in Facebook and everything. There are things like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge here and there. There are plenty of them, man. So I just thought, like, let's give it a try.
So just curious to know, is from the same background or same nationality, or it's different? You're looking for
doesn't have to be. It will be. I think if we are from the same nationality and same background, I feel like we will have a better communication than from someone who doesn't even understand my language. So that's always there, but you never know who you might find, what might happen. I'm just open to everything.
That's good.
But it's just hard to find someone who you connect. I had a few, like, I dated a few girls, but it never worked out. I don't know why. Because, as I said, they have that biological clock and I have like that financial clock, and I don't want to get married and settle down. And it's just hard to find a cool girl who's like, yeah.
Just one more question, like do you believe in something like getting married together and just working together, working together on your passions, or just working together to make your life better. Do you believe on that?
Yeah, you can always do that. I just don't want to take that risk. There's a risk to that. I just don't want to take that risk. I know that if you can find the right kind of person, and if you can, be in a relationship or get married to the right people, you will grow together better than what you do alone. As they're just saying, or a phrase, whatever. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go long, you have to go as a team. So there's always that. I just don't want to take that risk, and I love my freedom more than anything else. That's just me, bro. But there's always, like, as I said, when you find the right kind of person, then you can grow together much more better, and you can do better things in life. I do believe that.
So what's your final message for all of us?
Yeah, man, just go out there and live your life. You only live once, so value your time, do things that makes you happy, enjoy your life. There is a particular time for everything. So understand that, try to understand that, try to understand who you are first, try to understand yourself better, maybe go out and live your own, and figure out who you are, what you like, what you want to do, and always do good things to not harm others. When you're taking risks, when you're doing things, it's okay to harm yourself, although it's not a good idea, but do whatever you want. If it's only harming you, if it starts harming your family, friends, then maybe you should have a check on all of that. But above all, just live your life. Don't just exist. Live.
Yeah. Cool. That was such a nice message for all of us. But it's really hard,
It's hard, man.
It's really hard.
It's easier said than done, man. It's easier said than done. And I go through times where it's hard for me to do too. I just need to reflect back on myself. I just need to talk to people and just remind myself that things like this is helpful. Just by talking a lot of things out here, there might be a lot of things I might have fixed while having this conversation, something that was bothering me. This might have helped fix that. So you need to talk, you need to have communication, you need to find people. I'm lucky that I have friends who I can trust and who I know that they think good of me. So whatever they are saying is for my good interest. I know that I'm very lucky to have friends like that I had. And I'm also have been able to surround myself with people like that and just get rid of toxic people. It's hard, and not every day it's same, but you just look at the overall. As I said, you just take out yourself from that detailed everyday thing and look at the overall year and be grateful for what you have. Whenever I'm going back from my office to home, there is always a point where they are distributing food for homeless people from Salvation Army. And in normal days, it's just normal. I pass by, but whenever I'm depressed, I'm feeling bad, that thing makes me realize that at least I have a home. There, I'll go and sleep on my bed. I have food to feed myself. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for people around you. Be thankful for them. Maybe go out and tell them, I'm grateful for having you.
Yeah, I'm really thankful that you come here and share your
Good to have
experience.
people like you, man. Man, I'm so much motivated, or I'm inspired by you in a lot of times. When you're working 7 days a week and those kind of how do you do that? I'm always I like to do that, but somehow when I start working 7 days a week, it hampers me. It affects my mental state and everything, and I need to take a break. But I'm always inspired by people like you who are always trying to do something. Even in our school days, you were one of the people who I like to hang out with. There was someone who inspired me, because you were able to manage your time to do things, do stuff. It's always good to have people like you around.
When you have interest, like you said, when you have interest and when you keep that thing in the top priority list, you make time. And I think you prioritize for that. And I think that's the reason I get motivated. Even this podcast, this is my first priority now. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, I manage my time.
Even with the photography that I'm doing right now, I go and shoot for on weekends and throughout the week. I literally have only 2 hours of gap in the morning and 2 hours gap in the evening before I go to work, come back and sleep and those kind of stuff. And even in those 2 hours I'm editing and doing some photography. Utilize your time best. Yeah, I can't go out and hang out with my friends daily, or I can't party and stuff. But everything has a time. You have to work. You have to work hard. There are things you need to balance. Again, you can't just work every day for the whole year. You have to take breaks. You need to go out on vacation, have a good time, in and out. Balance is the key.
Yeah. And thank you so much for coming here and sharing your experience.
No
That
worries.
was really a deep and very nice conversation I
Yeah.
ever had. And I have learned so much from you, and I'm sure someone who is watching, listening to this, they might have learned so much from your experience and some from my experience. And
Hope
happy
so.
to have you on my show. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you again, Bikesh.
Alrighty.